Welcome to the Overlady Reads, the show where I, the Overlord, have a wife, the Overlady, and she reads. And then we talk sometimes. And then we talk about what she reads.
Is that where you're leaving me?
That's where I'm leaving you.
Okay.
What did you read this time?
I read Edgedancer.
Well done.
Thanks
for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week where we'll be talking about Oathbringer. Bye. Okay, turns out that Lucy actually has some other thoughts on Edgedancer. So Lucy, what did you think of Edgedancer?
So Edgedancer is Lif's book. Did I say that right?
No, it's pronounced book.
I meant
Lift. Oh, you're a couple.
I'm just gonna need a minute. So I didn't talk about Lift when we did the Words of Radiance video.
No.
Because when I picked up Edgedancer, the prologue for Edgedancer was Lift's interlude.
Yeah.
Words of Radiance?
Yeah, I didn't know this because I read Edgedancer when it was part of Arcanum Unbounded, so you just get Edgedancer there.
Yeah, whereas I've read Edgedancer separate to Arcanum Unbounded because we've got Edgedancer as a separate book.
Yes, we have the tiny little one. Little one.
And on the bookshelf it sits between Words of Radiance and Oathbringer, so it made sense to read it in the middle. So let's talk prologue.
Let's talk Lift's interlude or slash prologue.
So Lift is tough.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
She very much is.
Yeah.
I love
very capable, but doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like
very much just wants to sort of do her thing and be awesome.
Yes.
And I'm very okay with her just being awesome.
Yeah.
Because she's awesome.
She's very good at being awesome.
Yeah, I love Lift a little bit.
Excellent. Good.
Just because I feel like she is a rewrite of Wayne.
Okay.
And as I said back when I was reading Mistborn Era 2.
Yeah.
If Wayne had been a younger character, I wouldn't have minded him.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have grinded against me so much.
Yeah.
And with Lift being 10, but 10 for 3 years.
Yes, 10 for 3 years. Yeah.
It works for her.
Yeah.
Because the things that you would expect cringy little preteen to be doing, she's doing.
And it's fine because
because she's 13.
Yeah.
And that makes it okay.
Yeah.
So Lift's prologue starts with her, she's with a group of 6 thieves and they're looking at the Bronze Palace and they're sort of planning their way in so that they can break in. And the other thieves are there to steal fancy clothes because they won't be guarded and they can sell them for money. Lift gets in first because she uses her awesomeness. To grow some vines along the building and they lift her up to the window.
Does she grow vines or does she climb up window?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay, if you say so.
And all the while her Spren Windle is very much hating his life and very regretful of the fact that he is stuck to her.
The play of Windle and Lift is one of my favourite things about her character. Yeah. She just... Him being the grumpy old man he is and her just being the cringy preteen she is hilarious.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute little pairing.
Yes.
So she gets in and she's told to just stay in that room with Gorks.
Or Yarnagorn, I think his full name is.
Gorks.
Is it Gorks? Is Yarnagorn his royal title?
That's what they call him afterwards.
That's what they call him afterwards, cool.
So she's told to stay in a room with Gorks whilst the others go off and...
Gork, yeah. Okay, I won't interrupt you with puns.
Oh, was that a pun?
Oh my god! Fine.
I thought you were correcting me. I'm just so used to it by now. Oh, you made me forget where I am.
Lift and Gorks are left Gorkin in the room.
So Lift and Gorks are left alone in the room whilst the other thieves go out to do what they're there to do.
Yeah.
And Lift's like, cool, we're in this palace. I'm going to go and steal some food.
Obviously.
What else do you do?
Yeah.
And Gorks is like, Lift.
No.
We should stay here. We've been told to stay here. She's like, nah, mate, let's go and steal some food.
Yeah.
Her and Gorks leave to go and look for food, and they go to where the Viziers are at the moment, because they've all gathered because their Aqua 6 is dead.
Yes.
Because he is the second one to be killed in just a few months by Seth.
Yeah.
So now they've got to find a new one. And in their society, everything is done by like paperwork.
Yes.
So everyone's like submitted their applications to be the new Aqua 6.
Yeah.
And so they're going through the
applications.
They're going through the applications trying to find a new Aqua 6.
Yeah.
And they're all terrible. Nobody wants the job.
Yes.
Because the last two have been murdered by the assassin.
So they're just assuming whoever's the next person is going to get murdered again.
So everyone's applications are awful. And they're like, oh, we'll give it to you. And he's like, but I made like 20 spelling mistakes in the first sentence alone. You can't give it to me. And then, so they're like having a big discussion because obviously no one
wants to be. Yeah.
And so whilst they're distracted, Liv sneaks in under the table, like using her like slippery awesomeness.
Yeah.
And she starts like helping herself to food off the table. And then she sees Darkness.
Ooh.
And Darkness has come looking for her. So him and his friends grab her.
Yep.
And the Viziers are like, what are you doing, mate? And he's like, I've got paperwork.
Yes. He's like, you guys like paperwork? Here it is.
He's like, she is my prisoner. I'm going to go and execute her for being a thief.
Yeah.
And they're like, big extreme, mate. And he's like, well, she's currently spying on your meeting.
Yeah.
She earns this. And they're like, yep, that's fair.
They're like, okay.
You've got the paperwork, off you go.
Yeah.
So as they're holding her, they pull out a Larkin.
Yes, they do.
And they use a Larkin to drain her Stormlight.
Yes.
So I now know what a Larkin does.
Yeah, they like to eat Stormlight.
They're so cute.
Yeah,
I want one.
I know.
And then they're walking down the corridor, and obviously they don't know that Lift doesn't get her Stormlight from, like, spheres like everyone else.
Yes.
She gets it from eating food.
Yeah.
Don't know how that one works.
It seems to have been part of her curse, or /boom/curse.
That's what I assumed, but obviously I've not got any information on her yet.
Yeah, it seems like she asked to not change. And so the Night Watcher was like, cool, here's a spren, and also you eat food to get Stormlight.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's
something not...
Yeah. The Night Watcher doesn't always give you what you ask for.
Yeah. So as the guard is carrying her down the corridor, there's guards going ahead to, like, take the storm lamps down.
Yeah.
Until she's passed, and they're putting them back up behind her so that she can't draw Stormlight in.
Yeah. Which is a cool detail.
Such a cool detail.
At this point, you don't know who Darkness is, right?
No, he is just Darkness at the moment.
Yeah.
She manages to wiggle herself free.
Yeah.
She runs back into the room, and, like, she was eating a dinner roll. She manages to find the other half, and she quickly, like, stuffs it in her mouth.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you just wanted food, you could have just said.
Yeah.
And then she escapes from them. But in her escape, they grab Gorks.
Yes.
And one of the guards is holding a knife to his throat. And she's like, you're just bluffing. You wouldn't just kill some random child for no reason.
Yep.
So they do.
Yep.
And she's a bit horrified at this, obviously.
Understandably so.
So she runs off, escaping again. She goes background to Gorks.
Yeah.
Because someone has to care. And those are the words that she says.
Yes.
And she breathes stormlight into him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wendell didn't think that she'd be able to do it yet.
Yeah.
But she was able to.
Yeah.
And she brings him back to life.
Yes.
And the Viziers obviously are all there watching this.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, this is a sign from above. You, child, are a new Aqua 6.
Yeah.
So they make Gorks their new Aqua 6 because he's been resurrected. So
they think it's a him thing.
Yeah, he must be special, like he must be chosen, and therefore he's now their Aqua 6.
Yeah.
And he uses his powers to pardon Lift.
Yeah.
Which obviously Darkness has to then leave.
Abide by, yeah.
And she gets food.
Yeah.
So all is good.
It's all good. So, that was the interlude. How are you liking Lift after the interlude?
I really love Lift. I want to know what else a Larkin can do.
Okay.
Like, does it just eat Stormlight or can it use Stormlight? Like,
interesting question.
I need more Larkin information. I also need a Larkin.
Yes. I'll get you a little flying bug creature thing.
Obviously at this point don't know who Darkness is.
Yeah.
So obviously want to know more about him.
Had you
from his description of like having a scar on his cheek?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that killed the shoemaker.
I was about to ask, did you put him together with the guy that killed Yeem? Yeah.
Because his description matches.
Okay.
And the fact that Yeem was like he
had a spren.
Yeah, he hadn't bonded to it yet, but obviously he had a spren. And the fact that Lift has a spren, I thought maybe he was like going and like hunting down people with spren.
Okay.
Or like people with spren nearby.
Yeah.
Because he shows during her escape that he has some sort of like stormlight abilities.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know what order he's in
and
what his order does.
Yeah.
Because the radiant thing is like still so
abstract to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've only met Shallan and Kaladin up to now.
Yeah. And you know what orders they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've met other that like they're the main two so far.
Yeah.
And like it would be nice to know
what's going on there. What they can do, yeah.
I still don't feel like I know enough about the magic system.
I was going to say, there's a lot in the supplementary materials and the Ars Arcanum at the end of the books, which I don't think you read. They delve into things a bit more. They don't spell everything out for you, but
yeah. No, I don't read those. They slow me down.
Any other questions?
No, that was it from my prologue read from the interlude. So then we get into Edgedancer.
Edgedancer itself.
So it starts off with Lift escaping from the palace. Because since the incident, she's been staying there with Gorks.
Yeah.
Because she's under his protection.
Life, you know.
They've offered her, like, lessons. She's turned them down because she doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to change.
She doesn't want to change. So she has run away.
Yeah.
And she is heading to Yeddaw.
Yeah.
Is that
where is it spelled? Oh, Yeddaw.
Yeddaw.
I haven't actually said it out loud. I don't think I've said it out loud before. Fancy that.
It's one of those.
Did you pick up on why she ran away?
No.
It's something Wendell says about how it's a normal thing to happen, but I believe she got her period.
Oh.
Yeah, and so she panicked and ran away.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
So she's heading to Yeddaw.
Yeah.
And while she's heading to Yeddaw, she's practicing her surge of friction ability.
Yeah.
And Wendell's trying to tell her about it. And she's just not interested in hearing anything that Wendell has to say. My
favourite thing about their relationship is Wendell sitting there trying to explain all the stuff we as, like, the Realmatics people, we want to know what's going on. And then she's just like, shut up, Voidbringer! Whee!
Yeah. So, like, all the information I want, I could have had.
But alas.
But no. So, she is heading to Yeddaw.
Yeddaw. It's like your door.
I can't.
Hold your door. Shut your door.
Do words.
What are you doing at the door?
Hold the door.
Hold the door.
So, she's heading to Yeddaw because during the weeping, there's a, like, custom thing where they eat 10 different types of pancakes.
Yes.
Obviously, one each to honour each of the heralds.
Yeah.
So she's going so that she can eat all 10 pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so okay with this.
It's a great goal to achieve in life. Sometimes I just want to leave and eat pancakes. I get it, you know.
I'm not against that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
So she gets to the city.
Yeah.
And it's like this city that's like built into the ground.
Yes.
Like it's like in cracks in the ground. It looks pretty cool from the pictures.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's weirdly Shattered Plainsy, but it's artificial. Well, I mean, not that the Shattered Plains isn't artificial.
We don't know.
We don't know. But it's like, it's like a big dome that's just been cracked to hell, and people live in there.
So she gets there and there's this huge queue of refugees waiting to be processed to go in. Yeah. She doesn't want to wait in a queue. She's got pancakes to eat. So she like sneaks her way to the front of the queue and their guard lady Haku. Hauka.
Hawker. Let's go Hawker.
Let's go Hawker.
Yeah.
So she sneaks to the front of the queue and Hawker is currently arguing with a guy at the front. She's the head guard and he's a merchant. He's a farmer who's bringing some grain into the city to trade. But she's like, no, he's too clean. That's clearly stolen goods. Yeah. So they tax him accordingly. And he's like, I'm a farmer, what are you doing? She's like, well, you can either accept this or I can take all the goods because they're stolen. So obviously he has to accept. And whilst they're doing all that paperwork stuff, Lift can smell something. Yes. So she sneaks into the guardhouse, finds her first lot of pancakes. She gets caught in there. So then she like has to try and escape. So she's like using her awesomeness to slip about everywhere. She manages to escape and she gets out onto the cart and she like kicks it open and spills the grain everywhere. Oh yeah. And whilst all of like the urchins and the refugees and the farmer and the guards are trying to like sort that out, she sneaks her way into the city. Yeah. And she's like, cool, task 1 done. Yeah. Task 2, pancakes. Pancakes. So she asks some street urchins where to get food. Yeah. And they tell her about an orphanage down the road. Yes. So she's like, I don't really want to be in an orphanage, but if they'll give me pancakes, I'll go to an orphanage. Yeah. So she makes her way there. And as she's waiting outside for the lady to come and let her in, a lady comes and drops her son off. Yeah. Who, he's not quite well. Yes. Like, he's not really functioning properly. So obviously he can't go out to work. She needs to go back to work because she can't afford to live. So she's left him at the orphanage. And then Stump comes out and she's like, right, in you go, boy. I'll take you in. Girl, Stump. Not you, though. You're clearly too much trouble. Yeah. I will give you 3 meals. That is all that you're getting from me. Yeah. So she gives Lift her first meal. Lift goes and sulks on a bench. Yeah. And she's talking to an old guy.
Now, is this old guy, is this like a random guy in the alley? Is this the random guy in the alley?
This is the random guy. Mm-hmm. He asks her what body part she would be if she could be any body part. As you do. You do. So Wendell is complaining about being stuck with Lift. Yeah. When he could have been with the nice shoemaker instead. Boy. Yeah, I didn't need that reminder.
No.
Now I'm just sad that this isn't a Yeem book.
I reckon Yeem and Stump would have gone on very well.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So then Lift decides that she's going to follow
Hawker
home. And once they get to Hawker's home, she goes to the top of the building using Windle. And she's like, right, I'm gonna go to bed now. You just keep watch. If anyone goes into that building, wake me up.
Yeah.
So she goes to sleep and Windle wakes her up and he's like, Lift.
Yeah.
Darkness just went into that building. And she's like, cool, let's go find out what he's saying. So they go and spy on Hawker and Darkness. Darkness is interrogating Hawker about the events that happened at the gate earlier. You know, any information about this girl. If you see her again, contact me immediately.
Yeah.
And then Darkness leaves. So Lift follows Darkness. And Windle's like, that's why we're here, isn't it? You've come here so that you can follow him. Why?
Yeah. And
Lift's like, well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, she does admit to him that if Darkness is here, it's because he's looking for someone like her, and she's going to make sure that he doesn't get them, which is quite sweet.
Yeah.
So she follows him through the market, and while she's there, she's hiding behind like a fruit stand, and she goes to help herself to a bit of fruit because she's hungry.
Yeah.
Because she's constantly hungry because she's constantly burning Stormlight.
Yeah.
And a girl is caught stealing from one of the stands, and Darkness catches her, and he just stabs her with his shard blade
immediately. It's like
and he's like, well, if you cut their hands off, they can't work.
Yeah, so
they're
just a mouth to feed. They can't work. Yeah, so
it's just easier just to stab them and be done with it. And everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then she tries to heal the girl, but she can't heal that type of wound.
Yes.
Like she's too dead.
Yeah. She's been dead too long.
Yeah. So she follows Darkness back to his hideout.
Yeah.
She again uses Windle to get through a window. She sneaks past one of the old guards that's sleeping. Yeah. I wonder if he's a character, by the way.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Just because I want him to be another, like, world hopper or something.
Just hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
It's probably a herald. I don't know. There's still like half of them missing.
I don't know. I don't think a herald needs to be guarded by a herald.
That's fair.
So she sneaks past him and she's listening into Darkness's conversation.
Yeah. So
Darkness is talking to two of his assassin henchmen.
His other you know they're Skybreakers now, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking to his other two Skybreakers, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's angry with them for not finding the Radiant in the city yet.
Yeah.
And he tells them that they need to kill the Surge Binders before they bring back the Void Bringers.
Yeah.
And then Zeph, who is also sitting in the room, is like, they're already back. They already fought one.
The storm.
Too late, guys.
You know.
But Darkness just dismisses him.
Yeah.
And sets the two assassin people.
Yeah.
To go and find the Radiant in the city.
Yeah.
And he's going to go off and find a new one.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So Lift leaves, makes her way back to the orphanage, gets her second meal. She talks to the old man again because all the orphans go back in. Mm-hmm. She notices the boy from the other day and he started talking.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. He seems to be a bit better.
Yeah.
And Stump's like, yeah, they always do this. They come here pretending to be ill and injured, and then within a day or two they're perfectly fine.
And he's like,
just trying to take advantage of my niceness.
It's like, Stump,
do your spears also go done really quick?
Yeah.
So Lift's talking to the old man for a bit, and she decides that the best way to try and find the other person like her is to go and find where all of the writing is in the city, because someone must have written something down about this person at some point.
Okay.
That's her theory.
Yeah.
So she goes to the big dome place.
In the centre.
It's got a name. The Grand Indemisium?
The Grand Indemisium.
So she goes to this like giant dome place where all of the scribes keep their work.
Yeah.
And she steals some Azish?
Azish? Yes.
She steals some Azish.
Azish.
She steals some Azish.
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 I can't say it.
Why can't you say Z and S's that close?
No, I can't. Azish.
There you go, perfect.
So she steals some Azish robes.
Yes.
And she says that she's there on official palace business and they must do as she says.
Yeah.
And the scribe's like,
no.
Okay, child, what are you doing? She's like, I've been sent from the palace. Do you have a spam read that reaches the palace? And the lady's like, yeah. She's like, take me to it. Send a message to the palace. They will tell you who I am and why I'm here. She's like, I don't have time for this, child, but okay.
Yeah.
So the scribe takes Lift to a little room.
Yeah.
She sets up the spam read, and Hawker is in the general facility. So the scribe makes an excuse that she'll be back in a second, shuts the door, locks Lift in.
Yeah.
Goes to grab Hawker to be like, hey, there's this weird child here, can you help? So in the panic, Lift's like, they're going to catch me, they're going to give me to darkness. She gets Wendell to write out the glyphs that she needs. Okay. And then she copies the pattern that he's made. Okay. Because he can, like, make vines.
Yeah, he makes vines as he moves. And they leave a trail.
Yeah, so she copies out what he's written onto using the spam read. And then Hawker comes in with a load of guards. And in the scramble to try and like grab Lift, because obviously she's using her awesome. Yeah. So she can't be caught because she's really slippery. She's like a little wet fish. Yeah. They're trying to catch her, and the spam read responds. Hawker looks at it and she's like,
Guys.
She's telling the truth. And the Aqua 6 is going to pay for, like, anything that she needs here, and we have been asked to help her with whatever she's doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the scribe comes back, and she's helping Lift to research, like, strange anomalies in the city. Yeah. When a messenger comes in, he's like, hey, strange high storm's coming, we gotta go. Yeah. Now.
Coming from the west.
Yeah. So the scribe gets up her thing, she leaves, and Lift's like, hey, I'm still researching here. She's like, your authority has now been, like, overwritten. Yeah. I don't have to deal with you anymore, thank goodness, because you're really annoying. Yeah. I'm leaving. So Lift goes to check out one of the leads that they had found in the research. And as she's on her way there, she hears the two assassin henchmen. Yeah. So she quickly hides, and she sends Wendell to follow them, find out where they're going, what they're up to. Yeah. And Zeph is slowly walking behind them, talking to himself. Yeah. Definitely not his sword. Yeah. And then Wendell comes back and he's like, they're off to go and kill the person now. We've got to follow. Yeah. So she leaves and she's following them. They fly off into the sky. Yeah. And Zeph's like, I'm going to stay here for a minute, guys. So Lift comes out and Zeph throws the sword at her. Okay. Well, like, he gets the sword out in front of her.
He kind of just, like, holds it out in front of her.
Yeah. And she obviously starts to feel nauseous.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you're a good person. Puts my sword away.
Yeah.
And he tells her where they're off to.
Yeah.
And...
so he says, my sword likes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sword likes you. Nightblood.
Yeah.
Good Nightblood.
Such a cute little tease. Like, such a tease for Nightblood. Yeah.
I just want Lift, Zeph, and the Radiant they find in the city to, like, fly off to. You've got to say the place name because I can't.
Urethra.
Okay. I want them to go there.
Yeah.
And I just want, like, this big, happy, like, Radiant family.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to get it, but I want it. One day.
It's okay.
Nightblood. More Nightblood, please. So she realises that they're going to the old man that was in front of the orphanage. She can't fly there. So the only thing that she can do is use her awesomeness to get there as quickly as she possibly can.
Yeah.
So she's storming to the other end of the city.
Yeah.
And by the time she gets to the orphanage, she's used up all of her stormlight. She's got nothing left.
Yeah.
So she goes into the orphanage to claim her third meal.
Yeah.
And then she sneaks out. And just before she goes into the orphanage, she hears screaming in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't help right now.
I'm too late, yeah.
Like, I haven't got the energy to help right now. I need to go and consume food so that I can go and help because I want to help.
Yeah.
So she eats. She goes back out into the alleyway. And as she's walking down the alleyway, there's a corpse lying in the middle.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I'm too late for the old man.
Yeah.
And then...
she notices the second corpse.
Yeah. And then a lot of Kremlins start making up the old man.
Yeah. And then Brandon reveals a secret that I can't remember if he knew about these guys beforehand, but yes, that was a... oh!
He was really cute. He's from the same place as Axis.
Yes, so they are both Amiens.
Yeah.
But Axis is a seer, whilst, I can't remember, Arklow?
Yeah.
Arklow is a Dizian.
That's lovely. Yeah. I need more information on that.
We need a lot more. Why are these, like, Amiens? Why is Amiens so weird? Why are these two species from this that are not similar, but, like, are?
And why don't I have more Amia in my life?
Yes.
Because, they're really interesting.
By the way, every time a Radiance in one of the books is on their own and notices a weird Kremling, that's an Amian right there.
I know. But I need more than that.
Yes. Luckily, we're actually getting a novella about a trip to Amia in about a month's time. So we'll be getting a bit more there.
Good, because I need this in my life.
Some heckin' secrets in Amia, and I want to know what them are. So yeah.
Don't we all?
Yep.
And then she realises that Stump is the one that they were after all along.
Yeah.
Obviously.
She's healing kids,
yeah.
you know.
So Lift runs back to the orphanage. The door is now, like, broken.
Yeah.
She goes in and it's completely dark. The orphans are, like, huddled in a dark room.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I'm too late. So she starts shouting for darkness to come and get her.
Yeah.
In an attempt to try and, like, help Stump.
Yeah.
So her and Darkness have a little, like, standoff. And there she starts trying to outrun Darkness.
Yeah.
In the hopes that she can use up all of his stormlight.
Yes.
So obviously she gets it from different places. So she can refill, he can't.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get him to use up all of his stormlight. He manages to pin her down with a dagger. And he's about to kill her with his blade.
Yeah.
When Stump comes up behind him and hits him with some wood. And then he fights with Stump and he stabs her. And Lift has managed to get away at this point.
Yeah.
So he's banking on Lift coming back to save Stump because that's what she did with Gorks.
Yeah.
And instead Lift runs up onto the roof.
Yes.
And
this is as the Everstorm's hitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he obviously has to follow her.
Yeah.
And she's like, look over on that hill.
Yeah.
Look at the parchment with the red glowing eyes.
Look at the red lightning and the storm coming from the wrong direction.
Yeah. She's like, dude, they're back.
They're back, yeah.
You failed.
Yeah.
And so it suddenly clicks with him that he can't keep denying it anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, they are back.
He says something about Isha being wrong.
Yeah. And then he bursts into tears and he's just having a breakdown. So Lift goes up and gives him a big cuddle.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's just this. I really love that image of Nail and Lift on that roof as the Everstorm's hitting, just pouring with rain, and they're just having a nice little hug.
Yeah. So then he says who he is, finally.
He's Nail, the Herald of the Skybreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he flies off to go and...
My planet needs me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and fix the world.
Yeah.
So Lift runs back down. She heals Stump. Luckily, she can heal Stump.
Yeah.
And then Stump lets her live out the remaining evening at her place.
In the orphanage, yeah.
And the next day, Stump has a massive, massive, massive stack of pancakes that was definitely for her.
Yeah.
That Lift takes from her.
Yeah.
And Stump is very cross that she has to go through this whole routine, but she saved her life last night, so she's willing to.
She lets it slide.
So, the scribe from the dome place arrives with a spam read so that Gorks can talk with Lift. Stump finds her spreen.
Yeah.
And she started to bond with her spreen. Oh, I missed it.
You missed something. I know. I've been waiting.
Huge.
You did. You missed something really. I've been waiting for you to get to it. I'm like, yeah.
Right. When they were when Lift was out on the roof.
Yeah.
She made the third oath
of the Edgedancer order.
Yeah. It was
I will listen to those who have been forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she gets a massive pole.
Yeah.
And that's when Darkness is like, oh,
you're back. I've failed. Yes.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sure Lift swears her third ideal in this story.
I got carried away. I forget things when I get carried away.
That's all right. If only you'd written something down.
If only I had notes. So Lift pretends that she's going to the toilet during this conversation over spam read. She slips out of the orphanage because
she's Lift.
That's what Lift does. Yeah. She eats and then she leaves.
Yeah.
And then she leaves the city, and on her way out, she uses the remaining stormlight she has to heal the refugees who are waiting to go in. And she tells Windle that they're going to head back to the palace because she's got unfinished business.
Yeah.
So I look forward to finding out what that is.
Yeah. And that's Edgedancer, right?
Yeah, that's Edgedancer.
Yeah. Any lingering questions?
How long is it going to take Lift to get to Irithiru? Okay.
Well done, look at you!
Because I need her there.
Yeah.
I need her and Kaladin. I need her to be annoying Kaladin. And Kaladin being like, this child, get her away from me.
Yeah.
Someone else train this one, I'm done. Because that's what I need.
Yeah.
Now that we've got Nail, who's a Radiant, I need to know what other ones are out there.
Yeah.
I need to know what they can all do.
Okay.
Because I need to know what they can all do.
So, Nail is the Herald of the Skybreaker Order.
Yeah.
Skybreakers get gravitation and division.
Yeah.
So they get to fly around like Windrunners do, who have gravitation and adhesion.
Yeah.
But then Skybreakers also get division, which is the scary destroying power.
Okay.
That's also the same as the Dustbringers. The Dustbringers also get the scary destroying power as well. They also get the slippery power that Lift has, the abrasion.
So I'm excited for Oathbringer.
Yeah.
I want moral radiance.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get at least like one from each order.
Okay.
So that we can meet one from each order.
Okay.
I want the heralds to turn up because the heralds are now there.
Yeah.
They're in their like place.
Yes.
So hopefully they'll come to the place and like meet the guys.
Meet the Radiants, yeah.
I need more Larkin.
Larkins are very cute.
And I need to know more about Stump. I need to know what order she is.
Okay.
I need to know if she's going to make her way to the place.
Okay.
I just need
Is
more.
it not said what Stump is, what order Stump is in Edgedancer?
I can't remember.
Okay. If it's not said, then I won't say, because I don't think I know either.
Cool.
I don't think it's said. Cool.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, I'm glad you liked Edgedancer. Brandon said the reason this book exists is because
too much information.
It's almost too much information. It's because Nail has a moment where he switches from hunting Radiance to doing what he does later, and he couldn't just have Nail doing one thing in Words of Radiance and the Nail doing another thing in Oathbringer without. But there wasn't enough room to fit.
There wasn't enough room in Oathbringer.
There's another room in Oathbringer because it's already like the largest book the printers will possibly print. It's they couldn't fit that in, which is why we got Edgedancer.
I also, how many oaths can an order swear?
Every order has 5 oaths.
Okay.
So Kaladin has.
I was about to say because Kaladin's now got 3.
Yep. So Kaladin's.
So Lift is now the same level as Kaladin.
Yep, which is why she's got her shard blade as well.
Cool.
Not all. Sorry.
She could potentially surpass Kaladin by the time we next meet her.
She could. For the main characters like Lift and Kaladin, I feel like we'll always see their oaths because they're kind of important. I'm sure you noticed they're slightly different between the orders. You know, the Windrunners are all about protecting and saving people. Edgedancer is all about listening and remembering. Yeah, each order gets its own 5 oaths. They apparently get their blades. Some of them get them at different times. Some of them get them earlier. Some of them get them later. Yeah, so Kaladin's on 3. Lift's on 3. How many is Shallan on?
I think she's on 3.
She's
on 2 or 3.
Shallan's really iffy. Shallan's really weird.
Yeah.
Because she started bonding before her mother died.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, did that reset her to 0? Did it reset her to 1? And then,
she killed her mum using her shard blade.
Yeah, so was she a 3rd level Radiant as a 6-year-old? Like, it's weird, right?
I mean, to be fair, 6-year-olds, you've probably got quite a few lies in there.
To be fair, I always make the joke that
you're probably more willing to tell the screen
the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I always joke that it was like, hee, it was me that broke Mum's favourite vase, and hee, it was me that drew on the walls, and those were her truths. I'm like,
yes, they are.
Yeah, I'm like, for me, early Shallan, despite the fact that we've had her book, we've had her flashbacks, early Shallan is really weird to me, and I really want to know more about that. Yeah.
Fair.
So yeah, Shallan's a bit of an odd one. Don't know what Yasna's on, though we have some very good guesses. I think doesn't Dalinar? He swears 2 at once, doesn't he? At the end of Words of Radiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just rattles them out.
He's like, I read these from the books. I can just recall them.
Yeah. The first one is the same, by the way, for all order: the Life Before Death, Street Before Weakness, Journey Before Destination. Cool. So before one last thing.
Okay.
How are you liking the Radiant orders? Is there any that look like they're appealing to you? Because you're starting to get to know a few now.
Well, 1 you get to fly.
2 you get to fly.
Okay, well 2 you get to fly.
Yeah.
But 1 of them you get to hang out with Kaladin. So
But here's the thing, you only get the powers if you do what the oaths say. So, you know. Yeah, that's why you've got to pick your order carefully.
Well, I need more orders then so that I can pick something.
Yes. We'll make you do we'll have Lucy do a Radiant quiz at some point. At some point, we'll have Lucy do the Radiant quiz, and then you can see if you're a Dustbringer like me. Cool.
Where I am.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Let us know in the comments down below what body part you'd like to be, and follow us on 17shard.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Visit me on Club Penguin. We have a Patreon to give us money, because if you do, you get these a couple of days early, or just like whenever I finish editing these. And then cool. Thank you very much. Bye. Hey Daisy, what did you think of Edgedancer? Tell the people. Up there. Daisy, up there. Bye.